It's real easy to wait for someone else to ride that bus or drive that bus than it is to just hop on and take a ride. It really is a lot harder, I know, to drive that bus than ride it. But we're at a real important time for our cities, our counties, our state, and this country. After decades of hatred and bigotry as a common practice, we've moved to hidden agendas, behind-the-scene deals, and a real failure to listen and compromise. The truth is, you can't play the middle anymore. You may not always be on the same side. You may not always be able to pick A. But you're going to have to stand up for something.
Amen.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring, ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun, let us march on till victory is won. Stony the road we trod, bitter the chastening rod, felt in the days when hope unborn had died. Yet with a steady beat, have not our weary feet come to the place for which our fathers died. We have come over a way that with tears has been watered. We have come treading our path through the blood of the slaughtered. Out from the gloomy past, till now we stand at last, where the white gleam of our bright star is cast. God of our weary years, God of our silent tears, thou who hast brought us thus far on the way, thou who hast by thy might led us into the light, keep us forever in the path we pray. Lest our feet stray from the places, our God, where we met thee. Lest our hearts, drunk with the wine of the world, we forget thee. Shadows beneath thy hand, may we forever stand. True to our God, true to our native land.
Lift every voice and sing, also known as the Negro National Anthem or the Black National Anthem. And now we're going to sing something out of the tradition of Black Southern Gospel, Stand by John McKee.
for holiness. Stand for holiness. Stand for righteousness. And be counted among them that shall reign with him. You stand when friends are gone. Stand when you're all alone. And believe he shall receive his own.
Hear ye, hear ye. All rise. Oh, no, I watch a lot of court TV. So. But the spoken word room is in session. The issues we're not sidestepping, and the reality we're not neglecting. See, gun nor sword is necessary, because these words shall be our weapon. The stories are our bullets, our feelings is the barrel, courage is the grip that must get bigger, and this platform where we stand shall be our trigger. So let the pain lead the change, because your hearts are the target, and Lauren is about to take aim.
Wow.
Growing up, I knew that the color of someone's skin was not reflective of their beliefs, their behaviors, their thoughts, feelings, or emotions. I grew up knowing that the color of someone's skin was not what defined them. It wasn't something to be bashed, but something to be celebrated. Unfortunately, it's 2018, and not everyone feels the way I feel or thinks the way that I think. So here's a peek into my life, my story, and my revelation that love has no color. When you're walking down the busy street and you're looking for someone to meet, does it really matter what color hair, or is it the skin color that you care? Whatever skin color you may choose, you have something to gain and nothing to lose. Racism is something that needs to change, and my thoughts of it with you I exchanged. It was 11th grade, Spanish class, Senor Lucas. There was this light-skinned boy, green eyes, oh, what I would do to kiss. He was smart, he was kind, and damn sure fine. He played ball, I danced, but dating him was something to be chance. On the outside, he looked different than my past, but this relationship, it was growing incredibly fast. He asked me to prom, and as I tried to remain calm, I'll never forget standing there. You're not gonna kiss that black boy, I swear. Excuse me, what? I'll never forget that feeling in my gut. But we danced, and we danced the night away. The love was there, and it was here to stay. The looks that we got, the judgment that was thought, I kissed him, and I'll live to tell. And hopefully this idea will allow you to come out your shell. The world is filled with beauty. It comes in all shapes, sizes, but most importantly, color. We have ethnicity, and we have race, but race is different. It's a social characteristic. So way back when the races were being determined, what if the color of our eyes were the different races, or the color of our hair? Would it be crazy to think that blondes, brunettes, redheads were the different races? That you would be judged, you would be ridiculed for dating someone of a different hair color? These are merely the color differences of our hair compared to the color differences of our skin. But every stare, every negative comment, every why, every experience molded me who I am today, and for that, I am better. So I ask you, why did this idea ever come about? Stand up, I shout. Everybody needs to open their eyes and challenge their brain to be more than wise. Make the idea of racism flee. Stand up for you, stand up for me. If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything.
Now, a great West Coast philosopher once said, the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. Well, this East Coast underwriter is about to splash statistical references that you may have never knew. See, genetics is what makes us black, white, green, or blue, but it can also determine your propensity for being sick too. Now, Jessica will take her shot at bestowing knowledge upon you.
I'm humbled to be standing here presenting again this year for our Black History Month celebration. It's not beyond me to recognize my privilege as a white woman to do so. Last year, I presented to you a moment about my awakening to the realities that people of color face every day. So throughout this year, I listened. I listened some more, and I read, and I read, and I listened. And I listened more, and I read, and I'm here today to tell you, I'll share with you, that I learned. Women of color, I learned. 46% of maternal deaths for youth we could prevent. Women of color are 22% more likely to die from heart disease. Women of color, I learned. 71% are more likely to perish from cervical cancer, but what's more, I learned. 243% of you women of color are likely to die from pregnancy and child-related causes. That moment, that one amazing, life-altering, life-changing moment that unites us as women, you will likely perish, and I will flourish. I learned, women of color, I learned, doctors dismiss your cry of pain, Your pain, I learn, is underrated, understated, as complaining, exaggerated. I learn that it's chronic stress. It is you that works harder for equal pay, equal respect, equal care. It is you that shops while followed. It is you whose hair is touched and discussed. Keep that watchful eye while you drive. The term is called weathering. It is you that weathers. You weather the storm, but you fare far less. It's weathering on a cellular level, weathering on your DNA, weathering while gestating. Weathering is killing mamas while no one will listen. Women of color, I learn that life can be hard for me, but not that hard. While there's still so much I don't know, I do know that I can be her pro. I know that for her I can advocate. I know that for women of color, I stand.
Lesson is, women of color, please go to the doctor. Now, some of you may sit comfortably because you don't know what it's like to walk in our shoes. These soles are woven in the spirit of love, and these laces are tied to our heroes above. But our march for equality demands feet from all backgrounds, because your silence is a statement that vibrates way too loud. So we are sending a universal invitation to the racial battlefield, and Ryan is going to set his sights on how he feels.
This is titled, What Do I Know? So I was sitting in a meeting for this Black History Month celebration, and not many people know this. But in the middle of a normal discussion, I heard the words, African American. And suddenly everything slowed around me, but the conversation continued. And my mind took its own path down this rabbit hole of confusion. Is it African American? Or is it black? What are the best words? Is it just different for different people? He said, what about people of color? I kind of like that. It seems respectful, it seems dignified. But can I say it out loud? Because I don't know. Somehow it reminds me of my grandparents when they used the word color. And you see, that doesn't seem respectful. It seems like it's from a different time and a different place. But I don't really know. But what else don't I know? I don't know what it feels like to worry about the spelling of my name on a resume. I don't know what it feels like to even think about how people feel when I walk down the street on a cold, dark night. I don't know what it feels like to watch my son grow up and know that he will have to be extra careful because of what someone thinks about him just because of his appearance. I don't really know what it even feels like to be directly connected to this month we call Black History Month. I don't know what it's like to experience the first president that looks more like me than any of the others in the past. I don't know what it feels like to know that my relatives stood, sat, and marched for my rights. I don't know what it feels like to step into a civil rights museum, take a deep breath, and feel the immense sacredness that connects me to each and every exhibit. But I do know what it's like to watch my friends experience that. I do know that when I hear them tell stories of their experiences, their families, their connections, and their hope, man, that's rich. I do know that when I participate in the conversation, when I'm open, when I seek understanding, my voice joins theirs. I do know that I am inspired and proud to stand with them as we all march forward. Martin Luther King said that it's not the words of your enemies that you'll remember, but the silence of your friends. There are many, many things that I don't know, but I know that I stand because I love my friends.
Now, profiling and stereotyping are breeds of injustice that are yet extinct. What donning a hoodie and the skin of melanin is more likely to get us sent to the precinct. Now, you may look and say our thoughts are outdated, but our experiences will prove your ideals are severely underrated. And just in case you perceive my rhymes as traveling back in time, Jovan will proceed to shoot you with his non-fictional lines.
So I want to paint a picture for you all today. About 4 years ago on the campus of ECU, around 10 o'clock at night, it was probably about 40 degrees outside, so I got this hoodie on that I have on right now. Leaving a business meeting, walking to my car, 4 other colleagues. It happened to be another race than myself. And they get to their car. As I approach my car, a police officer pulls up behind me, and he asks me, is this my car that I'm getting into? I tell him yes, I show him my keys, and he sits there and waits until I get into my car, and then he pulls off. He never asked me, he never explained why he asked was that my car. He never questioned the people that got into the car before me. And this is one story that I have with many where the color of my skin or the appearance, the clothing that I have on affected how I was perceived. So that kind of led to me writing this poem that I have. And here I stand, a scholar, a role model, in many subjects I'm well versed. But because I'm wearing this black hoodie and this black skin, cursed. Cursed with the ability to evoke fear and danger when the lights go down. And the way I dress can affect how I'm addressed by those around. Or in layman's terms, everything's good till the hood show up. And all my integrity and my accomplishments become invisible once my hood goes up. My only safe haven is to wear this big, bright smile. Sometimes, carrying this smile is like dragging a loaded wagon for miles. But hey, one can rebuttal that we all have struggles, so why complain? Or, I don't see color, we're all the same. Over the years, I learned that those sentiments are vain. I know you see color, as you should, because we're all walking art. Beautiful portraits made up of different stories that tell us apart. But what good are stories if no one wants to hear you explain? Because standing up for what you believe is perceived as complaint, that's a shame. But I refuse to keep my mouth, my mind, and my book closed to hide my story. Because this ain't no finger painting, I'm a masterpiece, full of irony and allegory. I know God took his time with every twist and wind of his brush on this canvas, and it's my mission to share his vision when he crafted this man's standard. So turn off your television, because they only want to paint me in their image. And have those tough conversations with me, so the disconnect can diminish. Open your mind to new narratives, because his story is never finished. And listen with the intent to understand from start to end.
We do this because we fully believe and feel that words have the potency to pierce the armor of equality. They possess the power to penetrate society's formalities. So really, all the ammo that you need is love, peace, and poetry.
was incredible. Every time we do this, I think, it's gonna be tough to beat what we did. But you guys are amazing. That was incredible. Right. Now, I'm super excited about this next presentation. I have watched these young people practice in and out of the hallways at Sanderson High School since I've been there coaching. They're amazing. It's hilarious to see them in the hallways. I don't know how they do some of the stuff they do. But I give you the Alpha Omega Step Team from Sanderson High School.
Yo,
What up, kid?
what up, Play? I know what you calling about. The Alpha Omega house party tonight.
You already know we gotta be in there, man.
Yo, my pops tripping, dog. I got in trouble today at school, and now my pops won't let me out.
Kid, you gotta go, man. We can't let this party. You gotta sneak out of something. Come on.
But my pops gonna kill me if he find out. So let me see what I can do.
Jerome! Put on that Bobby Bowler!
Nah, girl, I wanna go way back. Oh yeah, check this out. Oh boy.
The party just started. No, it's over. It's over.
Girl, move. I said move.
Alpha, Omega.
We are, yes we are,
Alpha, Omega.
we are, yes we are, Alpha, Omega. We are, yes we are,
Alpha, Omega.
remix, remix.
Hello? Cut the music off. I said, cut the music off.
My parents are on the way home, and they'll be here in less than 2 minutes, and they're with your dad. We need to clean everything up and make things precise. Y'all need to get up out of here.
We came just to compete.
Say what? Our steps too smooth, too clean. So sit back in your seat and watch us kill this freaking beat.
Let's go.
Precision. Woo! Step back, we run this show. Move.
All right.
Let me begin. Walking the wind, gotta win, that's a sin. I won't ever slack up. I'll give it a back up. Later on, and I won't come up. Get up, stand up, throw your hands up. If you got the feeling, jump up to the ceiling. Monsters of them, I was looking up, yeah, I was in the eye. And then I'll take the punks up. Feeling funky.
We gotta give him another round of applause. Before we move on, as if we haven't had enough to laugh, just a thought. If you have been, well, they all know. Several years ago, I said, oh, it would be awesome if we did this some kind of step routine. And more than one person looked at me like, yeah. You don't want to mess with that. And I was like, oh, we can do it. We're not doing that. That one, now we may have them back. But we will not be messing around with that. By the way, Coach Wilson, thank you very much. I have a question though. How do I get them shoes? I just want to get home like, I'm a 10. Okay. Well, we're gonna move on. We got something special for us. So here we go.
All right, so I don't know what he was thinking putting me after that. They said they were going to stand and then no one could top that, and they're right, but I'm going to try and do them proud. All right.
You can have all the money in your hands, all the possessions anyone can ever have, but it's all worth
treasured. True worth is only measured not by what you got, but what you got in your heart. You can have everything. What does it mean? It all means nothing. You don't stand up for something. You can't just talk the talk. You've got to walk that walk. Yes, you do. It all means nothing. If you don't stand up for something. And I stand up for you. And I stand up for you. Yes, I will. Yes, I will. You do the best that you can do. Then you can look in the mirror, proud of who's looking back at you. Define the life you're living, not by what you take or what you're giving. And if you bet on love, there's no way you'll ever lose. Take a stand, make a stand for what's right. It's always worth the fight. It all means nothing if you don't stand up for something. You can't just talk the talk. You've got to walk that walk. Yes, you do. It all means nothing if you don't stand up for something. And I stand up for you. Stand for respect, dignity. If that's all you got, then you got all you need. And without that, you don't have a thing. No, no.
Rise and love, lift your hands. I stand for you because I understand. Ain't here to judge, just to make a stand. The greater plans the creators plan. Let's all rise like the day began. Reach out and touch with the Savior's hand. A rock we stand like this native land. Let the ways of love be the ways of man.
It all means nothing if you don't stand up for something. You can't just talk that talk. You've got to walk that walk. Yes, you do. And it all means nothing if you don't stand up for something. And I stand up for you. 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 Yes, I will. Yes, I will.
Wow.
Right.
Yes, she said me. I am very proud to introduce everyone to Captain Jock Gilbert. Captain Gilbert currently serves as the Criminal Investigations Division Commander. Captain, just realized that. With the Apex Police Department. In addition to graduating in the 220th FBI National Academy, he has written 3 books. He is the CEO of the Vine 919, a local nonprofit. Just as impressive, in 2015, he was recognized by President Obama as a champion for change. He was also recognized by the city of Apex with his Community Service Award. In 2016, Captain Gilbert was awarded Citizen of the Year by Apex Chamber of Commerce. Please give a warm welcome to Captain Jock Gilbert.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You know what? Delano and I are going to have a talk after this event. After our talk, we're going to have a talk outside. Because Delano had me following all that talent. Amazing. But another thing I noticed, I'm looking around the room. Actually, this was funny right here. So I'm sitting over there in that corner, and as people walked into the room, they looked over and they turned away real quick. And he followed me into work today. You know, I'm Speedy. And some of you are from Apex, and I've seen you before. Now, it's a pleasure to be here today. You know what? 10 years you guys have been doing this, and I give you. We don't have this at time of Apex. And I will tell you, it's probably not a lot of this going on in North Carolina and around the world. So you guys are special, and I appreciate you doing this. So as they are sharing the things today, the one thing I want to talk to you about today is my life and how this all relates to Black History Month. You see, I know y'all watch TV. I know you have social media. There's a lot of things going on if you haven't seen it. And from my perspective, as a police officer, I draw a line right here. I'm a police officer, and over here I'm a Black man. What a divide today. When I got the community that I was born and raised in a big town in North Carolina called Apex. The peak of good living. But it's not the same Apex as it was 28 years ago when I started as a police officer. My own community, when I share with them, guys, guess what I'm going to do? Talk to my family. I'm going to become a police officer, and I'm going to clean up the neighborhood that's infested with drugs and violence with my own family members. And they said, have you lost your mind? We don't do that. No. Of course, my mom was like, son, do you know police officers get shot at? Yes, ma'am, I do. But Mom, I really feel this is my calling. This is what I want to do. But yet my community was saying, no. Nah. Do you realize what police officers did to us? Civil rights movement, 60s, release of dogs, fire hoses. All of those things. And you want to betray us and become a police officer? I'm like, wow, they do have a point. What am I supposed to do? My calling, I want to stand up and do something different. Because you see, the people that I hung around with in school, my friends and family, they took a different path. And I want to take a different path this way. The road less traveled. I want to do something different. I want to stand up for the community. And today, I faithfully served 28 years, and yet still, nothing has changed. And I boldly say this at the Apex Police Department. In 1990, when I started, guess how many Black people, people of color, whatever you want to call it, were employed at the Apex Police Department? And I would say yes. One. Guess how many it is today? One. You. Two. Me, one Black female. It's not, you may say, wow, that's an alarming fact. Well, the reality is, those stats are the same across the country. And I will tell you why. There's doubt, there's fear, and there are people not following their calling. And I'm sitting there and I'm going to communities and saying, hey man, you should do this. Let me show you how much you can impact change in your community. Join me. Come on, you have to join me. And they're like, did you not see what happened in South Carolina? An unarmed Black man got gunned down, shot in the back. How do I respond to that? But yet, I respond like this. Did you see what happened to 5 of our courageous police officers in Dallas who were sitting there faithfully serving you? Who are you going to call when someone is breaking into your house at 3 o'clock in the morning and you're in fear? It's not going to be Ghostbusters. You see where that line is? I'm sitting there doing this right here. And I will tell you, when that incident happened in Dallas, Texas, I walked out of my office and walked into our break room. In that break room were police officers, about 15, sitting there watching the TV as things were unfolding. And when I walked in, everybody turned and looked at me. And I was like, hey guys, we're on the same team. That's not the look I received. I don't say this to get pity from you. I say this to say it actually ignited a fire in me, and I wanted to do something different. Instead of trying to beat people to believing that I'm right, I said I'm going to do what God has called me to do. What I'm asking you today, all of you, is I want you to write your name on the race card. Well, he just said write name on the race card. Yes, I said it. It don't matter the color of your skin. I want you to write your name on the race card. You see, we celebrate this great month, Black History. And there are people who have come before us and made this possible, that we can sit in a room and enjoy this great thing together. And I love the diversity in here. I wish I could see that at my place of employment. I want you to play the race card. Not play it, but write your name on it. And you're like, I'm ready to leave now. You just offended me. Don't go. I'm trying to go somewhere. All right? You know, we have a myriad of quotes from inspirational leaders, again, who have made this time possible. And they cast out seeds. Those seeds of encouragement, the seeds of hope. Again, it allows us to celebrate Black History Month. And there's one quote that really stood out to me, and I want to read it. I have learned over the years that when one's mind is made up, this diminishes fear. Knowing what must be done does away with fear. The only tired I was tired of giving in. End quote. That's Rosa Parks. So the quote and powerful words from others inspires us to believe and to stand up. So the question for you is, how do you see it? How do you see the world today? How do you see your community, your workplace? And are you going to stand up? Now, we saw these great performers stand up for you today. They did an excellent job. Again, I'm going to ask you to write your name on the race card. You see, this tension between police and communities is actually causing our communities to suffer from both sides, because we're losing the servants who have been called to protect us simply because we have our own opinions. It is okay to try to learn from each other, to understand each other's points, but we must all come together and be united. This is not, for me, about just the color of one's skin. You see, when I leave my house every day, the one thing I stand up and say and do is that I'm going to serve people. I'm going to serve people. My heart is for people. Love is the only thing that will conquer this fear that we have. That's going to hopefully bring people together, because we have a serious disconnect between police and communities. And I know some of you are like, you just don't understand. I got a ticket on 440 today. I did yesterday. It isn't just about the color of skin. It's about where's your heart. I want to share a story with you. In 2012, I responded to a call as a captain to a community, and it was about 9:30 a.m. And a resident was complaining that there was a young man skateboarding in his own driveway. So I'm like, that's interesting. So I'll respond, you know. Those shots fired, we're good. So I go, and I said, hey, what's going on? How can I help you today? The lady was like, I'm trying to sleep. I was like, you work third shift? She's like, no, I want to enjoy peace in this great community called Apex, the peak of good living. So I can help you out. What is the problem? So she points at her house, and she said, that young man's out there skateboarding, all right? And it's just, I can't get any peace. So I'm like, man, there's an ordinance for noise nuisance. So I went over. And there's this young man, tall, big afro. I've seen you 10 times in Apex, riding that skateboard, in church parking lots, grocery store parking lots, the Chamber of Commerce parking lot, your own driveway. I said, hey man, you gotta stop it. He looks at me, he says, what am I supposed to do? I was like, it's your problem, figure it out. Got in my car, left. I got 2 blocks away, and my heart convicted me. That's what we do as police officers. We walk away from problems. We are problem solvers. Think about, I look at you, all of you are sons and daughters. When I look at kids, I think about they have a mother and a father, even when we have to deal with them for a poor choice. So I went back and I said, hey, Tracy, this is what we're gonna do, man. Let's meet at Chick-fil-A Friday at 5:01 p.m. The reason I said 5:01, because I said, we're gonna do something with a nonprofit called Divine 919. We're gonna change this city. Meet me at 5:01 at Chick-fil-A, and we're gonna sit here and figure this thing out. So he says, yeah, right, slam the door. Knock on the door again. Tracy, let's get this done. He said, I don't even like police officers. I hate police officers. Wow. I knew there was pain deep down inside. I said, Tracy, please meet with me at Chick-fil-A, and we're going to figure this thing out. So Friday gets here, 5:05, I'm at Chick-fil-A, I'm looking out the window, no Tracy. 5:15, no Tracy. 5:25, no Tracy. He stood me up. So as I'm leaving, I'm walking out the door, I hear skateboard wheels. And it was Tracy and one of his friends. So we sat down and we talked. That was one of the best days of my career, because what I learned is that I also was stereotyping. I was looking at him for the skateboard that he carried, the ripped up jeans, the dirty white t-shirt, but he also learned that he was judging me based on the badge that I wear and the gun that I carry. Simply because we had bad encounters with people that look like us or act in that capacity. So 2 weeks later, we set up another meeting. He brings back 10 more skateboarders. I was like, we own something, man. And then I was like, man, y'all, my wallet is getting lighter because I was buying food. That resulted in, one day at Chick-fil-A, we had 100 skateboarders in there just talking, having a conversation. I was trying to invite my police colleagues to join me. You know what they said? You lost your mind. Yeah. So I was like, guys, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make some noise in this city, we're gonna do it in a positive way, because y'all can't be destructive. My job is on the line, I love my job. We're gonna do this right. So we decided that we're gonna have a skate event in Apex which has never been heard of, not even possible. And they looked at me like, Captain Gilbert, you can't pull this off. I said, I can't pull it off, guys. I know I can't, but we can. I know who's standing behind me. We're gonna get this done. I have relationships with people in Apex because I've built up over 20, at that time like 24 years. People trust me, I trust them. So here's what we did. We formed a skateboard team. We went around and we just went out and gave love to the town. We gave out turkeys at Thanksgiving to less fortunate people. We went inside the senior living homes, gave out Valentine cards, and they really enjoyed it. They actually designed Valentine's cards. It was perfect. But what the town started seeing is, these are people too. Just because they don't play basketball, they don't swing a bat, they enjoy skateboarding. That led to our first skate event in the parking lot of a Hispanic grocery store called Scott's Galaxy Foods. Y'all ever been there? Yeah. I actually got scared though, because we had a band to come in, we had rappers there, and we were right there on 55, the main thoroughfare, right? So the event was scheduled at 11 a.m. At 11:05, we had 5 skateboarders. But at 11:30, my daughter said, Dad, somebody just kicked over an anthill of skateboarders. We had 200 skateboarders the first event. I knew we were on to something. And the beauty of it was, we had so many different people there enjoying an afternoon of skateboarding. And they all look different, different backgrounds, include police officers and teenagers. It was outstanding. That led to a council member, by the way, it was 3 months away from election. My phone rang. She said, hey, yeah, you're a great guy, Jacques. Can we have lunch? Sure, we can have lunch. Hey, you want to use it to your advantage? I'm going to use it to my advantage. Here's what we did. So she came to the skateboard events. It was perfect. We had like 4 more. That led to her taking it to council. Same year, we marched 100 skateboarders from downtown Apex all the way to town hall, and 4 skateboarders stood in front of the council. They stood up and said, we're tired of being written tickets for trespassing. We're tired of being looked at because we wear different clothes and we carry a skateboard. And the council heard it. They received it, and they said, today, we're going to earmark $750,000 to a skate plaza in Apex. You guys are going to have to raise the other $150,000 to make it complete. And you have a deadline. We were able to raise $50,000, and we were 1 week away from my deadline. And this guy calls in, and he's my hero. His name is John Rogers. He called in and said, hey, I know you're about to end your deadline. You need $100,000? Yes, sir. Can I do it in installments? Like, gosh, man, it's close, man. He said, yeah, I know it's close. He said, can I give you $50,000 this week and $50,000 next week? I said, bring the money. Today, we have one of the best skate plazas in this region, in the center of Apex. You should drive by sometime. It draws so many kids. And you know what it did? Trespassing calls in Apex are at 0. Thank you. So you say, what does that have to do with Black History Month? Well, the thing that Delano gave me, everybody can be a part. It's about standing up. And all of us can do that. You know, when I made the decision to become a police officer, again, my family and community, they turned their backs on me. But today, they call me when they need something. And I'm okay with that. Especially when I hear from other officers, hey, I met one of your cousins today. I'm like, my cousin, what's her name? I think his name is Delano. I was like, why did they throw my name out? Well, you know, I started them, they won 70 and 45. They said that you're their cousin. And I said, I don't know him. I would take care of you. I would take care of you. But you know, going back to my community now, it's great to see all the things that have been done there. The diversity there now, they have really did well with that the town, they embrace that. But one thing I do want to share, the first 10 years in policing was my biggest challenge as far as standing up. When I first got my badge and gun, I went out there on the street after training, and I would stop cars in 1990, and I still had people calling me names on traffic stops. But I knew why they were doing it. They were trying to get me to lose my identity. They were trying to take me to another place, and I wouldn't give in. In policing in the United States, all over the world, there's a crime that's been really making a lot of people victims, and that's identity theft. It happens every single day. It's happening right now. And my point about you standing up is it allows you to find your identity. Because we were all called to serve and to stand up for others. I truly believe that. Truly do. Another project I started because I was really just, it was like irritated. I was irritated to continue to see this again, is that people were standing on the sideline and protesting against the police. And I'm like, yo, you just don't understand how to be a police and you're stopping that car and you're walking up and you have no idea who has a gun. And yes, I have been shot at in my career. In Apex, North Carolina, can you believe that? But I don't think people understand what we go through. But I step back over here, and I don't think my colleagues understand what I go through, or what we go through. And it's been going on for years. So I said, we gotta bring everybody together, we gotta bridge the gap. So through my nonprofit, I said, this is what we're gonna do. We're going to start recruiting men and women to get involved in law enforcement to make a difference. And I started a school called Blue Lights College. Got approved through the state to operate as a college in Apex. It's a small college. We have 28 students. We started last August. And the curriculum is based on bringing people together and serving people with hearts. That's what we're doing in Apex. We also have a basketball team. We play against Division 2 and 3 programs. So it's attracting students who have never would have thought about becoming a police. And you know, they're taking our curriculum and they had no desire when they walked in the door to become a police. But now they're calling me every day and like, I'm ready to serve today. This is great. We're getting people to find their identity and not let others control their identity and say, this is what you're limited to. You're not limited in standing up for others. I want you to understand that today. And just because you may be from this community, you think you don't have the right education, you've been charged before, it doesn't matter. You all can get involved and stand up. Because there are people out there hurting. I see it every day. When I drive to a house, when I see a young man who just OD'd. We had 2 yesterday in Apex. Who's going to stand up and save these sons and daughters? Because the parents don't know who else to turn to. You have an opportunity to become a superhero. But I didn't think I could do it. I want to show you a picture right now of why I didn't think I could do it. Look, I want y'all to see this picture right here. Oh. So this was me in 1987. Can anybody try to guess what that picture was for?
School.
What was that? It was my senior high school picture. Now, I know. 12. Now, I was walking around the hall in Apex. I think I was like 5'8" and weighed like 105 pounds. And I was walking up to ladies saying, "How you doing?" And they went. And I said, "It was cold as ice." They were cold as ice to me. But look, fast forward. 1990. Did I change at all? Look, I want to show you this. Look, watch this right here. I said, man, I want to make sure I look hard out there. I took a Sharpie. I did it. Yeah, I did. But you know what? Just think about a young man, that young man right there, was stopping cars, going to domestic calls, and trying to help people. And I still have that same passion today, it's just in a different way. And law enforcement, they told me you have to stay in this lane. You don't have to stay in that lane. Which is why I'm telling you today, well, I'm telling you today, I want you to write your name on a race card. There's human trafficking going on right now. There's women and children who are enslaved. There are men and women who have a prior charge and they can't get a job. So they feel like they're not part of this society anymore. While there are enterprises going on of incarceration, prisons making money. Who's going to stand up? I'm asking you to write your name on the race card. The three things, I'm about done, the three things that limits us from writing our name on the race card are confidence, criticism, and comparison. And I battled those three things. I was so concerned about what others thought about me, how I would be criticized because I went against the grain. The lack of confidence, because it hadn't been done before. And then compare myself to what others had done. So I'm asking you today, again, to write your name on a race card. In 1973, a thoroughbred racehorse called Secretariat became the first Triple Crown winner in 25 years. His record-breaking win in the Belmont Stakes, where he left the field 31 lengths behind him, is widely regarded as one of the greatest races of all time. And he continues to be recognized as one of the greatest horses in American racing history. And I tell you, I have watched this movie probably about 50 times, and it motivates me. You know, the experts thought that the Secretariat didn't have the right pedigree to be able to accomplish that. However, he became a Triple Crown winner in 25 years. So as I close, I have encouraged you, challenged you to write your name on a race card. But your mind immediately went to that race card. A race card is a printed card used in horse racing, giving information about races, principally the horses running in each particular race. We all have a race to run. We all have a lane to stay in, but we're given that lane and we're given blinders to win. What are the blinders for? You see, a thoroughbred has blinders on when they're in that lane because their focus is where? Straight ahead. We can't allow others to keep us in a seated position. We have to write our name on the race card that has been given to us. As you continue to go on, again, you have impressed me with this 10-year event. This is awesome. I'm going to get the recording and I'm going to take it back to my HR and ask the question, why are we doing this? I'm willing to stand up, and I thank you for allowing me to stand up before you today. And I hope what I've talked to you about today can help you write your name on a race card, and you run the race well, and you hear the words of, well done, my good and faithful servant. You were faithful over a few things, and now I will make you ruler over many. Thank you.
For the record, I know this is a little longer than we normally have. It's our 10th year, remember that? So forgive me. I need to close this out the right way, so I'm not going to shortcut anything. So I just, like I said, I know we're running over late. So our theme this year was Stand Up. And this came about, I literally listened to the Andre Day song, picked up on some lyrics, and that's what inspired. We talked about that in the group, and I just wanted to say some things to you. So I'll start with some lyrics in that song. You can have all the money in your hands, all the possessions anyone can have, but it's worthless treasure. True worth is only measured not by what you got, but what you got in your heart. And it all means nothing if you don't stand for something. You can't just talk the talk. You gotta walk the walk. You gotta stand for something. And I know that's not easy. I know that. I feel that pull every day. And earlier we did the song Stand. And if you're in this side of the room, you know that was a process. That was amazing. That was amazing, but that happened out of a process. And thank y'all. Because it meant so much to me to have that happen. And a verse in that, I decided to take a stand, not knowing I'll lose my best friend, but I'd rather live right. Followed later, I decided to take a stand, not believing I'd lose some of my friends. I would rather live right. In the end, let's get back to doing the hard things, in spite of them being difficult. Let's try not to do something just because, or not do something because it's difficult. Let's do something because it's the right thing to do. Even if it comes with adversity, changes, some risk, we're in the business of risk, some challenges, we gotta stand up and do something. I need to thank Captain Gilbert. That was amazing. Thank you. Special Cindy Cole, who wrote those great signs you see popped up everywhere that we did. Cindy's handwriting is the best. If you did the quizzes, an amazing job with quizzes, then Franco, Tim, Tom, thank you. Not only did they help keep that alive, but they actually redid the website. It was amazing. Rosa, Sylvia, James, amazing food. Taste the Soul, how good was that? Sylvia, who, sidebar, my wife got sick in the middle of the film festival. I literally emailed Sylvia, she took care of everything. And she probably wants to beat me up later for that. I stress her out. But I'm really thankful for everyone, including everyone sitting here. Give them a round of applause. So, quickly, the week 4 raffle, which was the last week's raffle, the winner is Felicia Kilson. I don't know where you are, if you're here, but I see you. The grand prize winner. I don't see him anymore, but it's the little big man himself, DJ Brown. Now, it's our 10th anniversary, so I thought I was clever, and since I figured I'd run over anyway, I thought I'd make a few people smile about it. I don't know where. Actually, I might. But if you reach under your seat, there are 8 envelopes taped underneath the seat that have 5 Casual Day coupons. Thank you. Bye.